Hello, welcome to SFUSD. We created this video to help explain how our student assignment system works. To help families who are new to SFUSD, we will be using examples for kindergarten applicants. To start, why do we have the student assignment system? SFUSD has over 100 schools, and each year, over 10,000 students apply. With so many schools and so many students, we rely on the student assignment system to make sure every student receives a school. The system is basically a set of rules, which considers family choices and the number of open school seats to ensure that all students are equitably assigned to schools. This is especially important when more students apply to a school than there are openings. Next, what happens after you turn in your application? Congratulations! You submitted your application. You are on your way to enrolling in a great SFUSD school. First, we make sure every applicant's information is in our computer system. Then, the computer looks at each school you requested and puts you into an applicant pool for that school. An applicant pool is a group of all students who requested the same school on their application. In this example, let's say you requested 3 schools. This means that you will be in 3 applicant pools, but there can be more or less depending on how many schools you requested. Within each applicant pool, the computer checks to see which students qualify for tiebreakers. Tiebreakers are preferences given to applicants for certain characteristics, such as where they live, which school they attend, or if they have older siblings in SFUSD. We will talk more about tiebreakers later. Within each applicant pool, students with tiebreakers are assigned first. If there are remaining seats, the computer assigns the rest of the students by random number. If 2 students have the same tiebreaker, but there is only 1 seat left, the computer uses random numbers to decide which student gets that seat. The computer does this for each applicant pool until all seats are filled, or there are no more school requests. Next, the computer looks at how you ranked your schools. Let's pretend you're the student with the pink bow. You were tentatively assigned to 2 schools. Great! You ranked School N number 1 and School C number 3. Since you ranked School N higher, we give you this school and remove you from School C to free up space for another student. Now you have your school assignment. A few notes. Sometimes even students with tiebreakers don't get assigned to the schools they want. This happens when there are more students than openings at that school. Each student can have only 1 school assignment. The computer tries to give each student their highest choice of school possible. But what happens if you don't get any of the schools you requested? Unfortunately, that can happen sometimes, because the schools you want are so popular that many students request them. When this happens, the computer looks at where you live and tries to assign you to your attendance area school if it has openings. Attendance area schools are elementary schools with geographic borders drawn around them. Most elementary schools have this border, and every elementary school applicant has an attendance area school. To find your attendance area school, use the map lookup tool at sfusd.edu/schoolfinder. Now, back to our question. If your attendance area school has open seats, great, that becomes your school assignment. If your attendance area school is full, the computer looks for the closest school to where you live that has openings and assigns you to that school. Now, more about tiebreakers. We mentioned earlier that tiebreakers are preferences given to applicants for certain characteristics. These characteristics were chosen by SFUSD to do a few things: provide equitable access and help create diverse learning environments, keep siblings together, and give families more opportunity to stay closer to home. Because of this, if your requests have tiebreakers, for example, you are a younger sibling, live in an area of the city with the lowest average test scores, or live in the attendance area of the school, you have a greater chance of getting into your requested schools. It's important to know that some tiebreakers are ranked higher than others, which means those higher ranked tiebreakers give you a greater chance than lower ranked tiebreakers. For example, the sibling tiebreaker is ranked higher than the lower test score area tiebreaker, which is ranked higher than the attendance area tiebreaker. You can also receive multiple tiebreakers, which add up to give you an even greater chance. You may also receive different tiebreakers for each one of your school requests. That's because tiebreakers differ across schools, programs, grade levels, and applicants. For example, the sibling tiebreaker only applies to a school where an older child is already enrolled. However, the low test score area tiebreaker applies to all of your requests. To see if you live in a low test score area, visit sfusd.edu/schoolfinder. Here are all the kindergarten tiebreakers ranked in order. 1. Sibling. 2. Pre-K TK attendance area. 3. Test score area, see Tip 1. 4. Attendance area. Please note that attendance area tiebreaker does not apply to citywide schools, which are K-8 schools, and K-5 schools with language immersion programs. You can see a list of attendance area schools and citywide schools at sfusd.edu/schoolfinder. Let's take a look at an example to better understand how tiebreakers work. We will look at two students, Kayla and Michael, who are applying for kindergarten at the same schools. The two schools are Fairview and Treetop. Let's look at Fairview first. Kayla has an older sister at Fairview. In this applicant pool, she receives the sibling tiebreaker. Michael lives in an area of San Francisco with the lowest average test scores. He receives the test score area tiebreaker. Now let's look at Treetop. Kayla does not qualify for any tiebreakers. Michael, on the other hand, receives the test score area tiebreaker here, since it applies to all schools. He also goes to pre-kindergarten at Treetop and lives in the attendance area of Treetop, so he receives the pre-K TK attendance area tiebreaker. Now that each student has their tiebreakers in their respective applicant pools, let's try to assign them. For Fairview, the computer sees that both students have one tiebreaker each, but Kayla's sibling tiebreaker is ranked higher than Michael's test score area tiebreaker, so it assigns her first. It also assigns any other students with tiebreakers that are ranked higher than Michael's. Fairview still has seats left, so it assigns more students, including Michael. For Treetop, the computer sees that Michael has two tiebreakers and Kayla has none. The computer assigns Michael first, and other students with tiebreakers. All the seats at Treetop are now filled. And the results are Kayla got into Fairview, and Michael got into Fairview and Treetop. Kayla will get Fairview as her school assignment, and Michael will get the school that he ranked higher. To learn more about tiebreakers, please visit sfusd.edu/tiebreakers. While we cannot promise that every student will be placed at their number one choice school, we can promise that your student will be considered fairly and that the student assignment system strives to assign students to their highest ranked school choice available. For more help, contact us by phone or email 415-241-6085. Enroll in school at sfusd.edu or visit sfusd.edu/enroll. You can also visit us in person at the Educational Placement Center located at 555 Franklin Street, Room 100, San Francisco. We are open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.